They say you never forget the day your world flips upside down for me. That day started with the soft scrape of old courthouse chairs and the sound of grown men whispering. Is this for real? See, most folks walk into a Brooklyn courtroom expecting gray suits, tired arguments, maybe a little drama, but nobody, and I mean nobody, expects an 8-year-old black kid to stand up, folder in hand, and tell the judge he's got something to say in defense of his grandma. Yeah, that happened. And let me tell you, when Marcus Johnson, pushed that squeaky chair back and looked Judge Carter in the eye, you could hear the whole room hold its breath, like even the walls weren't sure what would come next. Judge Carter, that old school kind of guy with the glasses perched low on his nose, tried to play it cool. Young man, you should be in school. But I wasn't there to play my grandma. Dorothy had heart problems. Her lawyer bailed when he realized there'd be no paycheck. And there I was, her last hope. Sir, I just want to tell the truth. My grandma always said the truth wins, even when nobody believes you. I said, my voice wobbling just a little, but you better believe I meant every word. The prosecutor, Richardson's slick suit, shiny tie, that smug look of a man who's never been told no, was not having it. Your Honor, this is irregular. A child can't represent anyone in court, he barked, adjusting his cufflinks like he was about to win a beauty pageant. I'm not representing anyone, sir. I just want to speak as a witness. I told him, polite as I could, even as I wanted to call him out on every dirty look. So Judge Carter, curiosity flickering, said I had 5 minutes. I pulled out my folder, papers all in order, receipts, notes, even a couple drawings, because sometimes you got to show, not just tell. I started slow. I've lived with Grandma Dorothy since my parents died. Every Sunday night we'd sit at the kitchen table and sort bills. Blue for expenses, yellow for income. That was our special time. My hands shook a little, thinking of those nights, but I kept going, remembering Grandma's voice. Knowledge, Marcus, is the only thing nobody can take from you. You know, when you lose your parents because some drunk driver doesn't care about life, you either break or you learn to fight. I was that quiet kid for months, blaming myself, until Grandma sat by my bed reading court cases, explaining things, giving me a reason to get up and join the world again. By 6, I could read legal docs. By 8, I could spot a scam a mile away, and in that courtroom, I was ready to prove it. 3 weeks before the money went missing from the Bedford-Stuyvesant housing program, Grandma noticed someone tampering with her accounts. I showed the judge her notebook, every penny tracked, every receipt color-coded. Richardson sneered. This is a circus, Your Honor. The fantasies of a child. But the jury, well, they leaned in. Maybe they saw something honest, something they hadn't expected. I told them about September 12th, $2,500 withdrawn for roof repairs. But I'd been there the next day, and the roof was untouched. Showed them the photo I took, just a kid and his grandma on a blue sky morning. Another $1,800 for security equipment that never arrived. $3,200 for outside legal counsel that Grandma never hired. Did you even check if these companies exist, Dr. Richardson? He hesitated. Truth is, he never bothered. Here's where it got interesting. Signatures. Grandma's real ones. Soft, looping. These on the checks. Hard, shaky, different every time. I learned handwriting analysis at the library with Mrs. Patricia Williams. Yeah, a twist for you, the retired paralegal turned secret mentor who saw me at the library and started coaching me after school, showing me how to ask the right questions, how to stay calm when grown men get ugly. But the big blow? I pulled out hospital records the exact time the money disappeared. Grandma was with me at Brooklyn Methodist while I had an asthma attack. We were there from 1 to 5 p.m. I had bank logs and medical files, rock solid. Did you check security cameras, Dr. Richardson? I asked. He smirked. The cameras weren't working that day. Funny, I said, because the security company says they were, and offered a hand over the tapes. The jury murmured, the air sharp with the scent of something unraveling. Now, I could see Richardson's face, panic painted over arrogance. How'd you get all this? He demanded. When you love someone, you do whatever it takes, I replied, and behind me, Grandma started to cry, her hands shaking as I held the room in silence. And then the final card. I pulled out a sealed envelope, paused, let the tension settle, then asked, Dr. Richardson, Want to withdraw the charges before I open this?" He tried to bluff, but I cracked it open and played a recording his voice on the line, clear as day. "Doesn't matter if she's guilty. I need my conviction rate high for the Attorney General's race." And a text message, printed in black and white. "Focus only on the administrator. Close the case in 2 weeks." Oh, and the bank statement, $25,000 deposited into Richardson's personal account, straight from one of those shell companies. Caught. Exposed. No place left to hide. That courtroom exploded not with chaos, but with disbelief and anger and, finally, applause. Judge Carter looked at me like he'd never seen a kid before, and Richardson, well, security had to walk him out. Grandma stood up, her voice steady as she told the court she'd spent 15 years helping families and wouldn't let some greedy man ruin that. The judge tossed the case, ordered a probe into Richardson's misconduct, and I stood there, just a kid hugging his grandma, knowing for the first time in a long time that the world could be fair if you fought hard enough. 6 months later, everything had changed. Grandma was Brooklyn's Citizen of the Year. The housing program got more donations than ever. And Richardson? Disbarred, doing insurance sales out in nowhere, his name mud. Meanwhile, I was giving talks at law schools not as a prodigy, but as a kid who learned that when you're right, you never give up. The Marcus Project, me and Mrs. Patricia's idea, started teaching kids their legal rights in public schools. Grandma pushed for reforms citywide. They even passed the Marcus Law, demanding prosecutors prove where a defendant was during the alleged crime. People ask if I'll be a lawyer someday. Maybe, maybe not. I just know I'll never stop helping people stand up when they're counted out. And Grandma, sitting in the front row, always says, "Our age doesn't define our wisdom, and our color sure as hell doesn't define our power." Richardson tried to apologize from prison, letters Grandma never read, because, as she told me, some wounds need justice, not forgiveness. Judge Carter kept a photo from our trial on his desk, a daily reminder that sometimes justice walks in wearing little sneakers and carrying a messy folder. That neighborhood, our community, it's different now, better, stronger, proud. Every so often, someone stops me, asks what I learned from all of it. I tell them, when you're right and you don't quit, the system can be fair, but you gotta prove it every single time. Mrs. Patricia likes to say, "I saved my grandma," but truth is, we saved each other and maybe, just maybe, gave everyone in that courtroom a reason to believe again. So, if this story of justice and guts hit home for you, share your own story in the comments, tell us. Have you ever had to fight for someone you love against a system that just wanted to steamroll you? Because if there's one thing my grandma taught me, it's that love is courage, knowledge is power, and sometimes real revolution doesn't need a fist, just a little boy, a binder full of hope, and a stubborn belief that the truth can still win. You know what I mean?